Yo, what's going on, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? We are back with our series, and today we're moving on to the NFC North. It consists of the Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, and Minnesota Vikings. And today we are gonna start with our most hated team probably in the NFL. So I will say it now: we will try and be as unbiased as possible, but there will be no promises at all because, as Green Bay as a franchise, nobody likes them, especially us, for the pure fact that they are green and. I don't know why.
And we have a mate that supports me. He's really annoying, so
he shall remain.
Matt Hogg is his name. If you want to go give him hate, right?
Might as well release his address at this point.
He lives in Upminster.
Anyways, moving on. Before we get into the video, as always, it's going to be a running theme. Now we have a message that comes from the depths of our hearts, and you will be bringing it to us, by Jack, which is.
If you're watching right now, you're most likely not subscribed to this beautiful channel. And if you do, it will mean the world to us. So please consider, if you enjoy this video, please consider a little sub. We will be providing consistent NFL content. And not just first round videos, even though we have been doing a lot of them. We're going to be hitting you guys with betting content. We're going to be doing predictions for this season, weekly recaps, the works. So yeah, let's get into the video.
Let's get into. So, starting off with the very first pick, the most recent pick for the Green Bay Packers is one that not many of us expected, to be honest. Everyone was expecting 2020 draft for the Green Bay Packers to draft a wide receiver or another weapon at least for Aaron Rodgers, and ended up drafting his replacement. I can't say much about him because he hasn't played a snap in the NFL. He's meant to be the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers, so you're going to assume the Green Bay's got a lot of faith in him, but if they're going to do what they did with Brett Favre, he's going to be on the bench for another 3 years. But it's not looking like that. Well, I'm sure everyone, unless you're living under a rock, everyone knows the trade talk at the moment is that Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers do not have the best relationship, as it were. There is talks of him moving on. There's talks of Aaron Rodgers being upset with the O-line, Corey Linsley going, the weapons going, the lack of weapons coming in. So it'll be interesting to see what position he plays next season, but they traded up one spot for him in the draft, even though there was no threat from the team below them that they were going to take Jordan Love. So I'll never understand the Green Bay as a franchise, and this pick sums it up, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the draft, we thought this guy was second round level, really. Maybe late first, but if you're picking late first, then you have a quarterback. So
I think he eyed him going to the Saints to be Drew Brees' replacement. So he's very late first round.
Yeah,
and
I mean, he wasn't that impressive in college. You're more drafting him because of he's got good size, a really good arm. He has some special throws, and people were saying, he's a bit like Mahomes, but they're saying that about a lot of quarterbacks these days. We're giving this an E more because of the impact that it had. The pick itself might be good, he might turn out really good when Rodgers retires or whatever, but this caused a lot of issues for the franchise. As soon as he was picked, it was one of the biggest draft day stories, them not giving Aaron Rodgers help once again. And then this theme has just pretty much remained consistent. It's carried on to this year. And the Rodgers-Green Bay relationship is still bad. So it's had a lot of impact and not a positive one at that.
No.
Okay, next we've got Rashawn Gary. This is a bit of a typical Green Bay pick. Like, it wasn't a need. They don't really draft off need. They usually go best available. And they had the Smith brothers with their pass rush. I mean, they're two Pro Bowl level guys, but no, they'll still take another outside linebacker. And he's not been playing too much. He plays a solid role, but he's behind the Smith brothers. He's in a decent little position. He can learn from them and still play a decent amount of snaps and still get a good level of sacks, 7 sacks. Not too much else, but you can't really expect too much from him because we've still got Zadarius and Preston Smith still there. He could slot in easily in the future. He might get moulded into a really good player.
Yeah, the Packers picked this guy for a project for the future. There wasn't He was not going to get into the starting lineup straight away, and he still isn't. His rookie year, he played 30% of snaps, so you can kind of cut him some slack for the lack of stats that he's put up. But even then, he has shown flashes of brilliance. He's definitely shown he can be first round potential, but he hasn't had the game time to release that potential yet. So until one of the Smith brothers leaves Green Bay, he's just going to be a bit part player, but he hasn't done too bad. Darnell Savage, very good safety. Annoying safety, but a very good safety. Drafted out of Maryland. In his time, he's got 6 picks and 17 passes defended, playing 29 games in 2 seasons, so that's very good. Started them all. He was named to the PFWA All-Rookie team in his very first season, and he's continued to build on his stats in 2020, especially in the second half of the season just gone. In terms of ability, excellent in coverage, you can't deny that. And in the future, there is projections of him becoming an all-pro safety, and that isn't surprising, especially if this upward projection does increase. His 4 picks in 2020 were tied 5th in the league, so that's very good as well, with 75.3 PFF rating. So the stats are there that he's a very good player in the making. Yeah,
it's a lovely little partnership they've got, and this is definitely the best safety in the class. Definitely better than Jonathan Abram. But I guess Abram's a strong safety and he's a free safety, so you can't compare. But yeah, he's been very good. Annoyingly good. We have our Green Bay mate banging on about Darnell Savage ever since he's come into the league. He's been a plug and play guy. Can't really say anything else. Am I covering? Yeah, you are. I'm covering beautiful man, Jaire Alexander. Green Bay, Wisconsin people can't stop talking about this guy, and there's good reason for it. The mainstream media don't really talk about him, but he's one of the lockdown corners in the league. So much so that people just aren't really throwing at him too much anymore. A bit like Tre'Davious White or Jalen Ramsey. And you can tell our PFF rating, that's got to be one of the highest, if not the highest in the league. He's been very good, and it's shocking how much this guy goes under the radar. I think none of the mainstream media talk about him at all. He's a very good corner, and he's been pretty good ever since he's come into the league. And it's probably a perennial Pro Bowler on their hands.
Yeah, in terms of the PFF rating, it says here he was PFF's highest graded cornerback last season, over Jalen Ramsey, over Tre'Davious White.
And that's Tre'Davious White really low, so that's what PFF's just...
Yeah, PFF isn't something you should follow religiously, but it is a good indicator of how a player's been. In terms of what hasn't been said already, his ability, he's just brilliant in coverage. He can be the best receivers in the game easily. The improvement as well from his rookie season. He let 64.6% of completions against him, and in the season just gone, it's now just turned into 50.7. So it's a big improvement. And in the season just gone, he's only gave up more than 50 yards in a game twice. So he very rarely lets big plays happen against him. He's a very good shutdown corner. It's a brilliant pick. Kenny Clark, defensive tackle taken out of UCLA. In 4 seasons, 73 games. Pretty good. He's Mr. Reliable, doesn't really get injured. 18.5 sacks, and he was a 2019 Pro Bowler as well. He's primarily a very good run blocker. Literally before the run game even happens, he blocks it, he reads it ahead. And amongst interior D linemen in 2019, so 2 seasons ago, he was only second statistically to Aaron Donald, which tells you how much of an impact he's had. Whilst in 2020 he didn't have as productive a season, you still can't deny it was very impressive nonetheless. And he's a player that the Packers should be proud of, and I'm sure he'll have a brilliant future in Green Bay.
Yeah, this guy's really important because as a nose tackle, his job is to obviously stop the run primarily, but also provide pressure. And he's one of the only good run blockers in the team, to be honest. You've seen whenever they come up against a physical running team, they can really struggle. And the only guy really holding down the fort is Kenny Clark. Their linebackers tend to get pounded over, but yeah, great pick. Yeah. And one that wasn't rated at the time. Okay, so I've got DAMARIUS Randall.
Biggest whiff.
One of the one of the bad picks.
One of the more bad picks. worse, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
He's bad.
One of the bad picks from Green Bay, which is rare because they are really good at developing players, but they were not good at developing him at all. This is when Mike McAfee was head coach, and we didn't really know, but we know now that his defences are not very good, especially the secondary. And I don't know if it was him or the defensive coordinator at the time, but they decided to play him at corner for all of his time in Green Bay. And he was part of one of the worst secondaries in the league at the time. And he ended up having a locker room tantrum, falling out with everyone and the head office. And then the Browns actually managed to play him at safety, which is his position, but it's pretty much too little too late. And the Green Bay, they handled it awfully. We're giving it a D-. You could probably give it worse than that. But yeah, a rare miss from Green Bay.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to add, to be honest. He was traded for DeShone Kizer at quarterback. I don't know about you, but I hardly know who he is.
I know him. He's a big bust.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Part of the Browns.
You're trading a bust for a bust.
Part of the Browns' legendary seasons when they won 2 games.
Yeah, I've heard of the name. But
2 games in 3 seasons or whatever.
But yeah.
Anyway, that's Green Bay.
Yeah, but in terms of the 5 years overall, haven't done too bad, have they?
No, and we always say, or everyone always says, Green Bay in the Midwest, they develop their own things really well. They do their own stuff really well, but they don't go out and buy a sports car. They don't go out and make a splash. They just sit there with their little stocks and shares account.
I wonder who your preference is.
For a 3% gain.
Yeah, I mean,
the herd loves saying it.
I would
it's
never
true.
Understand.
They just develop their picks well. They don't buy anyone else. They just sit there.
I will never understand Green Bay as a franchise. If they actually splashed the cash, there would be a franchise that has won so many more Super Bowls in recent years. But they always get to the finish line and they just bring the reins in a bit. They never actually continue to push it that one step forward. But that's Green Bay for you. They won't change. But that's the end of the video as well. That's the end of the Green Bay last 5 years worth of first round picks. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. But until next time, see you later.